Well, good morning, YouTubers. This is a Saturday morning, and went down today to my favorite pit stop and had me some breakfast. Real nice omelet. I call it a Las Cruces omelet. It's civilized, you know what I mean? You basically just take a Denver omelet, throw away the bell peppers. Who eats bell peppers anyhow? And add green chili. Fixed. And so it's pretty darn good omelet. And the guy Gary that runs the place, this guy can cook. Ugh. I ate them and his beans. This guy, if you walk into a place that calls themselves Mexican or Mexican American food or something like that, if they don't know how to cook beans, that's a big tell right there. Now, Gary knows his beans. I had refried beans with my eggs today. Oh, so good. Anyhow, went down. There's get some gas. Yeah, why not? So I'm standing at the gas station. The lady next door, she's nice enough. She goes, by the way, your tire's low. Oh, so I looked at it. It really was. And I had been ignoring the little tire sign on the inside because that stupid thing codes all the time. So I wasn't even looking at my tires. So I'm glad she pointed it out. Anyway, off to the tire place, sitting around there probably an hour and more. And they fixed the tire, but then I got out of there and thought, oh, you know what? I got a check I needed to cash from a job I'd done. And, I remember. I was going to get some greenbacks because there's some kids out doing a car wash. In fact, there's two groups. They're adjacent. One's at what's that Manny Moe and Jack place? I can't remember the name of it. Three Brothers or something. Whatever it is. And across the street at Martin Tire, there's another group of kids. And, they're all waving flags out there, and it's kind of like a competition, I guess. I don't know. But one of them's a cross-country team. That's, I guess, boys and girls. I don't know. Because I was seeing kids, both male and female, that appeared to be on some kind of track team or a cross-country team or something like that. And anyway, glad I got the truck washed. That thing is just filthy. And I just wanted to kind of go on and on about some of this weird junk that's going on around in the world right now. I mean, things are getting real sketchy, and it's like the cultural order is breaking down. In ancient Rome, the Romans had such a broad empire that when it fell, only half of it fell. In other words, what we call the West, which is kind of like Italy, Spain, France area, up into what we would call Austria, Germany. In fact, the Romans went as far as Great Britain, at least, and we don't really know how far they went. But at any rate, when the empire was collapsing, going into free fall, they had tribes to the north. A lot of them were Germans, a lot of them were Goths, whatever a Goth is, and there was one called the Vandals. That was the name of the tribe. And anyhow, when the barbarians overthrew Rome, then everybody knew the jig was up. And but on the other side, Constantinople stood for several hundred more years at least. I don't really remember when the eastern half of the Roman Empire actually failed. But it's weird, we in the West almost never remember that. I don't know why. But in any case, the thing that I was thinking about is the word barbar. B-A-R-B-A-R. It was originally a slur, I believe. And it'd be a little bit like this. If you're speaking in a language I don't understand, and someone says, well, what did that guy say? I said, I don't know, it sounded like blah, 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 blah to me. And that it was an insult. It was a kind of a slur. The barbarians were hated. They were what you call uncivilized. They didn't build big stone cities. They just tore them apart. Anyhow, the Germans swept through, and a bunch of different tribal people came in. And of course, the empire was convoluted. I mean, it was wildly changed afterwards. And so anyway, the point I was thinking about is that, the barbarians are among us. The gates have been breached. But we didn't have to import them out of Germany this time. We've got our own homegrown varieties. And the people out there are just getting so weird, irrational, deeply irrational. There's all kinds of hooting and hollering about some country western song. As if this guy's a supreme racist of some ilk who's singing about, well, if you want to go burn down, the library, and you want to, set the police station on fire, and you want to start burning cop cars, don't even think about doing that in a small town. Bad idea. Well, it's actually pretty true. At least I would hope so. This is somehow perceived as racist. by some people whose minds are apparently not working well. So at any rate, I'm just here watering my little green spot while I talk. So if I have to leave, I guess I could just pick up the phone and go. It's in a. Oh, by the way, I meant to mention. Have you noticed the leaning tower? It just went away. Why? I modified the thing. A friend of mine, a co-worker, gave me another kind of phone grabberizer, and it had this weird suction cup affair that I guess you could stick it to a smooth surface like a tile or a piece of glass, maybe. I don't know. But the suction cup didn't work at all. And I don't really know what the point of that was anyhow. What were you originally going to mount it on? Maybe a window in a car? I don't know. But at any rate, so I just sort of mingled and mangled the parts together. And the old design, I never did like it. It ended up with another axial rotation that was just entirely unnecessary design-wise. So essentially, I just took one of the axes of turn out. I just removed it from the equation. And I cobbled it together. It really isn't that great of a fix. But it works, and it does hold the darn thing where I wanted to, which was rather what the idea was about in the first place, now wasn't it? Originally, this thing came with some sort of weird halo. I guess it's around here somewhere. I've never actually opened that box. I don't even know what's in there. But I think you can put a round bulb around it. Why would you do that? I guess maybe people are trying to make more of like a professional-looking video or something. I don't know. But see, I thrive on looking amateur, and I'm so very good at it. In fact, I'm one of the greatest amateurs I know. I'm an amateur at so many things. It's amazing. I mean, just anything. Just invent something, you know, like bubble gum wrapping. There's got to be a guy somewhere that invented a machine somewhere that takes individual pieces of bubble gum and just regular chewing gum and wraps them in paper. And then somehow folds and seals the whole thing and then stamps and labels it, or I guess that better happen first. And I'm a complete amateur at it. I'm gonna pull the hose back. Hey, I know, I'll just take you with me. How about that? If I can get this thing out of here. It's a nice little grabber doodle. I'll see if I can spin it around. What I did essentially was I just abstracted this out. I took this off of the other one, then I folded this in with super glue. I made a bogus thread pitch into the end here and just forced it in. And if you turn it tight enough, it kind of threads itself in, you know what I mean? So anyway, I just thought I'd throw a little water on the dirt. The heat's going to be coming on again here in a little while. Ugh. A little rain. Hey, you know, I had a weirdo today. I was over at the tire store watching videos. Eric McTaxis, I believe, this time. I like that guy. Anyway, the audio just went out. Adios. I couldn't hear a thing. And I couldn't get any YouTube video to kick up with audio. I couldn't make a Facebook video that has audio. Why are you looking at that fence? I'll set this thing down in here. That's why I bought this. Yeah, boom, we're back. Hey, how about that? Almost like magic. It looks like it's a super clear day in terms of clouds. I don't see a single cloud in the sky right now, but there might be some hiding over here. I just haven't looked that way. Sometimes they'll pile up around the mountain a little bit, you know, even if it's basically a day like this. I call these brass sky days. I mean, it's like after about 1 o'clock, that sun up there, and you're just thinking, why can't we get one cloud in here, just one? And it's like, and there's clouds somewhere near like central Nevada or something. I mean, our weather's been just super dry this year. Usually by this time of year, we're getting what we call the rainy season here in Las Cruces, or AKA monsoon. That's a little optimistic. But at any rate, it's a pretty good, you know, it's about a 6 to 8 week period. Usually begins, I want to say, early July. In fact, 4th of July, almost every year it rains. But I haven't seen any rain really to speak of down here. Now, there was a little drizzle up behind the mountain the other day, but nothing really is coming in with what you would call those big seasonal rains. So we're having a remarkably dry summer. And I don't know what's causing that. It might be El Nino or something like that. I think I did hear something about Ninos out hanging around here again. So anyway, the thing that I was just thinking about, watching Eric and some of these other shows, there's one called, you know, New York City is collapsing. You know, in other words, social order around the country is breaking down. There are places now where, in cities, where you can't walk into, like, say, a grocery or something, or a big box store and go shop. You can't do that. You walk up to them at the door and you tell them, this is what I want, this, and this, and then they look it up. You mean that, and that on a screen? Yeah, okay. You stay here, we'll be back within a little while. Or I guess you could do it on email, I don't know how. But the point is that they don't trust people around the product because there's so much grotesque amount of product theft, and apparently either the police's hands are tied or something else is going on. But I mean, it's like looting, you know what I mean? If you've ever seen looting after a riot, people just busting windows and taking stuff. Well, if you can imagine just walking into a Costco or something like that, or a Walmart or whatever, and just doing that, just start loading, carry it out in their grocery cart, and phew, I mean, just run across the parking lot, throw it in the truck, and go. And that's happening so often that these retailers are not retailing anymore. They're not doing it the way it has always been done because they can't make a profit. And so, I mean, this is what's brewing in our midst, people. There's information out there that there's some kind of deal going on with young American women are being sterilized on purpose by somebody. I guess we should track that one down. Anyway, there's just so much weird stuff. And then when I hear all the weird, what's wrong with your mind? Ranting and raving about this wicked, horrible person, the evil orange man. Get out of here. Get a life. And I can see that sun behind my head is going to start glowing. It's going to make me look like I have a halo. Trust me, it's an illusion. But I don't, I can see that the sun angle here. Yeah, I've only got about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to be in the light, and so I'll probably just move indoors and then come out and move the hose around a little bit. But I just wanted to say, with the world falling apart, Western civilization seems the wheels are falling off. And those psychopaths and liars who are at the top, they have no indication at all of letting up in this insane pressure. Up in Canada, Trudeau right now, even the Muslims are trying to join with the Christians up there, but the Muslims are the actual movers on this. Canada's trying to brainwash children into this weird pronoun crap. So it's so important that as we teach our children. Now, are we going to teach them how to add, subtract, multiply, divide? No, none of that stuff. Are we going to teach them how to read or write? No. Are we going to teach them how to read a map? No. Are we going to teach them how to find a job? No. What are we going to teach them? We're going to teach them how to sexually rearrange themselves willy-nilly with lots and lots of encouragement from the bureaucrats. What do they got to gain? Well, you end up with sterilized men, sterilized women. You end up with a deeply confused generation. And you get kids, I mean, let's face it, you look ahead, what have you got to live for? I mean, how good is your life going to be when things are this ugly and they're only going to get worse? I mean, the kids in China, 16, 18, 20-year-olds, they're not working, they have no intention of working. They've just given up. They've just given up on life. And the Chinese don't know what to do about it. I mean, eventually they'll probably throw them in jail or something. But, I mean, it's just, everything's getting real strange in our world around us. But so the world that's coming is the creation of the Lord as well. It's also a living, real world where real humans live, and there's air and water and stuff, but there's a lot of other good stuff too that we don't know about. But in other words, the point is that he's talking about a new creation. That all of this paranoia and delusion might be able to be shrunk in a way to the so-called climate crisis, save Mother Earth. And in saving Mother Earth, what are we doing? We're poisoning the air, we're poisoning the water. We're genetically altering plants so that they cannot reproduce naturally unless you do another gene splice thing. In other words, they've cut off natural progression of from generation to generation. Seed corn. Do you understand what I'm saying? You used to plant corn in the ground, it would grow up, there's a corn plant. We'll take some of those and shuck them and keep them. Those are your seeds for next year. Can't do that anymore. The stuff that grows is sterile. It's a mule. It won't reproduce. And so, I mean, they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And if you think they care about you and your welfare, if you think for even a minute that they care about the truth, you need to have your head examined. Buckle in, Bubba. Put on your crash helmet and safety straps. Things are going to get weird. But God's smarter than all that good stuff. In fact, He's the one who called it. He's the one who said it was going to happen in the first place. So we shouldn't be surprised, and we shouldn't be afraid. because we're in His hands. And His hands are the true hands, the ones that made everything and give us life. You guys have a good day. Bye-bye.